right, John, let me see if I unmute you. If I let you, I might let you talk again. All right. Okay, John, back to you.
I think I'm unmuted, and I keep getting texts from several people that I keep leaning too close to the camera. So I'll stay back here. I hope you can hear me. Hey, we have a really special guest right now, all the way from the United Kingdom, happens to be a chiropractor, super chiropractor. There he is, playing his guitar, Dr. Jeffery McTavish. And Dr. Jeff's going to tell us a little bit about how to talk to our friends in the medical profession right now, many of which are looking for opportunity. Keep in mind, doctors, chiropractors, dentists, etc. All these people are self-employed like we are. And right at the moment, a lot of them are unemployed until whatever this madness is gets over. And when it does, why not have a great product they can market? So Dr. McTavish, you are on, my friend.
Hi everyone. It's Dr. Jeffery from the UK. As John said, I'm a chiropractor. I've been practicing for 22 years now in the UK, and I've been involved with Immunocal and Immunotech business since 2015. And John's come in and asked me how can I contribute some words or some phrases or some ideas that you can do to approach these particular professionals in their field. And I think the first thing that we got to really consider when you're going to want to talk to these people is you got to be prepared. You do have to be prepared because you are trying to bring something to them that they may never know, and then you have to be prepared to either be rejected or be asked more questions. So there's a lot of things of that nature, and you have to assess that person and go, are they an open type of professional? Are they a closed one? Are they very skeptical? So you could probably maybe look at how your perception of that particular person is, and then you can consider a couple of things that you have to sit down and think about. And one of the things you can think about, and I was thinking about this, is you may want to think, what can I bring to that professional that would enhance their practice or maybe enhance them and their patients? Because we always want to talk about how this product may be able to help not only themselves, but also the patients or their clients, depending on the particular healthcare professional that you're talking to. The other thing would be is, what can I bring to them that will catch their attention? What can I do? What questions can I say? What lead word can I say that they go, what is that? And I was thinking about this, and I thought about my own situation, about me going to my dentist. And I had said to him, I said, how long have you been practicing? And he said, well, I've been practicing 34 years. Wow, that's a long time. I said, look, you've been exposed, I guess, a lot to mercury, have you not? And obviously he said, yes. So I said, well, look, I had all my amalgams taken out, and I was thinking of taking this product that maybe takes all the mercury out of my body. What do you think of that? Do you think it's going to be a good idea? See what kind of result you get back from that. Because I find that if you lead in with a question, so let's say you, like for this dentist, we know that this product makes glutathione. We know that glutathione in literature strongly represented that glutathione gives up its sulfur group in order to make that mercury molecule inert. We know that this will help with our body's ability to then eliminate the mercury in our system. So for me, a dentist, if they're an open dentist, I don't know what it's like there in North America, but over here, we have different types of dentists. We have entrepreneurial dentists that like to have a secondary income stream, which is what Wally had talked about at the very beginning, which is very, very important. And it's what John just touched on right now, is that because of this virus that we've got floating around the world, a lot of us have no patients. So we have no patients, so we have no income. And if we don't have other income streams coming into our practice, how are we then going to sustain a living with this particular environment that we're in? So this is where this other product and the opportunity you could build into the conversation later on. But let me get back to how you would present this to your clinician. So let me ask you a question. How many people out there go to a dentist? Put your hand up. Every hand should be up. Everybody should be going to a dentist. But how many people go to a chiropractor? How many people go to a nutritionist, or they have a personal trainer that they go to, or they go to somebody like an acupuncturist or any of these other particular professional peoples in the healthcare profession that you would like to take this product to. Again, I have to come back to, you have to be prepared. And then if you lead in with a question, I always thought that was the best thing. So if I have a patient come in to me and they said, hey, I want to take blah, 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 and they're waiting for my reaction. And if I've not heard of what blah, blah, blah is, I'm going, oh, what is it? Can you give me a little bit more information on it? So I can then let me know whether or not this is going to be good for your health. And that's a great way to be able to break the ice sometimes, because sometimes we're so scared, or maybe we have too much enthusiasm, or maybe we just don't know what really to say. And sometimes leading in with a question where you want to actually say, look, I'm going to take this product to help me in my health condition or to improve my health. What do you think? What is your opinion on my idea? And if they don't know, then this is the greatest opportunity for you to go, well, how about if I leave you a brochure or leave you some information, or can I send you something? I did this recently to a dentist when I was taking Miriam's young son to the dentist, and we got talking while he was being looked at, and we started talking about mercury and all this other stuff, and he had never heard of anything that would be able to get rid of the mercury in a natural form. Well, for me, that was just an open door. Thank you very much. And I talked to him a bit about what the product does and how it can help people. It can help him, his clinicians in his clinic, but also maybe help with a little bit of an income stream, because they're selling toothpaste and they're selling this. And then he was very interested in that. And so we give him the information, and then we let them assimilate it, because a lot of times we're so busy that we don't have time to look at things. So it's always good. And I can't remember who said that, but you always have to follow up. And the lady in Saskatoon, something like that. And you always have to follow up to make sure that they either one have got the information, or they probably haven't, they're so busy. So you say, look, can you just have a look at it, and maybe we can get back to you, et cetera, et cetera. So when it comes to those sort of entrepreneurs or the people who are on the front line, i.e. meaning over here, we've got the NHS. So we're talking about doctors and specialists in the different fields. They're, I think, a different nut to crack, because they're so ingrained in that pharmaceutical mindset that anything outside of that becomes almost impossible to break. And I've had this with conversations with some GPs or medical doctors, you call them over there, in Belfast, where I go up there to do some thermal imaging breast screening. So have a conversation and say, well, listen, can you not, if you have a patient, recommend an omega-3 or a CoQ10 if they're on statins or stuff like this? And they say, no, we actually are not allowed to. So I don't know the parameters of what restrictions that the GPs and the specialists over in North America have, but I would probably assume it's a lot more entrepreneur or more open than here in the UK, which it can be quite stifled. But then we have a group of doctors who do have that mindset of going, do you know what we're doing isn't working. And we need something that works, because they do care for their patients. We do care for our patients. And we're always looking out for something that will enhance their health, their well-being. And that's what we're always looking for. And when you do this in mind, when you go to lead with that one question, or you leading with other different types of ways that you feel that are going to be comfortable for you to talk to that person and lead into a conversation, then always have that person in mind for their health, but also the health of their patients. That's paramount. For us, the business is secondary. But when it comes to people like chiropractors are a great example, both over here, and we all have osteopaths, which are very similar to us, but osteopaths in America, and I'm not sure about Canada, very much same as a GP, but only they're more structural. So we're always looking for different ways of being able to support not only our clinicians out there, but also our patients, and also have another income stream to come in, because when we have a drop in numbers because we didn't work and we don't have anybody else in practice, we're the only dentist, we're the only chiropractor, we're the only acupuncturist, and we are the business, we need something that's going to come in to replace that. So if we want to go on holiday, then we've got some money coming in. And so therefore, you've got a way of two different types of conversations going on. But the one that I find that gets me first and what got me into this business was the product. The science behind the product sold me 100%. And it should do for all of them, particularly when we can then go look up on any search engine, glutathione and blank. You fill in the blank. Somebody says to me, is it good for menopause? I went, I don't know, let's look it up. And sure enough, because of reactive oxygen species, this product and glutathione work really, really well. So this would help somebody with menopause. So there's a lot of different conditions that you could then use as examples when you're talking to these people, because we see all sorts of stuff. And the other thing would be is that when you're, say, wanting to see a chiropractor, see a dentist, see an acupuncturist at the very beginning, in the form that they fill in for your new patient form, they may have in there, are you taking any supplements? And you put down there, and make sure you put it down there, Immunocal. And then if they've never heard of it, they'll see vitamin C, yeah, we've seen vitamin D and omega-3s and all this other stuff. And you put down Immunocal, they go, what's this you're taking? And this is another reason for you then to go, oh, that's to raise my glutathione levels. And if they're good with their nutrition from when we've had all of that education a long time ago, then they will go, oh, glutathione, yeah, we know about that. Yeah, we definitely didn't know about that. And you just say it's a natural product and it's able to boost my immune system, and this is what it's done for me, and leave it at that. And then maybe the next visit you come over, you say, remember I mentioned Immunocal. Is that something that you would maybe want to try out yourself? Or is that something that you would want to maybe introduce into your clinic for your staff members or your team members to have and try? Or maybe even try it out in some of your patients and see the results, because sometimes we want to see the results before we actually commit to something. And this is true for a lot of my patients who said, well, Jeffrey, I'll try it and we'll see. Well, I say, well, okay. Some of them have come and say, well, how do I know if my glutathiones are low? We say, well, we'll take blood tests. So we take blood tests, we take the results, and we take the condition, and then we apply the amount of Immunocal to then see what kind of change is happening with their condition. And their condition goes away, we do more bloods, and their glutathione levels raise. Now we got some actual proof that we can show people, and we can also show them, and then they can go out and maybe speak with other people, and then say to those people, look, there is a business opportunity here if you'd like to have it. If so, that's a conversation outside of our clinic. That's how I do it, because it's not the focus when people come in. My focus is to serve them and help them with their conditions and their symptoms that they're coming in with. And this would be true for all professional healthcare providers. And so for them to say there's a business outside of it, that is really outside of the clinic. And this is something that we don't really, some of us go and use, and some of us don't. So don't expect to have that particular part of the puzzle when you're speaking to these people take off like a rocket, because it may not happen. It all depends on that individual, who they are they open, are they closed, are they skeptical? And these are the things that we need to think about when we're doing it. So be prepared mentally, and also make some notes about if you're going to go see an acupuncturist, how would Immunocal, how would the glutathione, how would that help in an acupunctural world? How would it help in the nutritional world? Well, that's a no-brainer right there. Oh, you can go to town with that one. But how would it help a medical doctor or GP? And that's a different story, because again, their hands may be handcuffed and they can't do anything. So again, I don't know the system over there, but I know one powerful thing. It's listed in the 2 books of pharmaceutical products over there, and that's the most powerful tool you've got. Really is very, very powerful. Plus also we have the studies and the ongoing studies that John Mawson alluded to in another call. But we also know the studies that they're doing in brain health, and it's going on and on and on. So we have a lot of armament to talk to healthcare professionals. It's just whether they are open or they're closed, we don't know. But that is up to you and how you assess them. John, thank you very much.
Dr. Jeffrey, thank you as always, my friend. And Thank you for staying up late. I know it's late in the UK.
Oh, it's only 8:05. Come on, we just finished dinner.
Early. What am I thinking? I'm thinking of Keith Hooper. I got to go to bed soon.
Gotta remember, I got that mute button, John. I think I feel it coming on.
A lot of words of wisdom there, but one of the things that Dr. Jeffery pointed out is when you fill out that chart for the doctor, make sure that you kind of put that Immunocal in some big letters so the doctor asks you about it. You don't know this, most of you on this call, but Dr. Gutman was actually recruited into Immunotech as a distributor by a guy named Howdy McDaddy in Montreal, who was his patient, who did exactly what Dr. Jeffery just described. So, hey, Dr. Gutman certainly made a huge contribution to our company's success and continues to this day. So there's one of countless examples. But Keith, I know we're getting shorter on time here, so let me turn it back to you. And I know you've got our next speaker lined up.